Well, it's time for another edition of the GoFast interview, and in tonight's interview, we've got Color 7 or Color the Seventh. I'm not sure how you like the pronunciation of that gamer tag. I don't know if you're the seventh in a long line of colors. How do you like the gamer tag to be pronunciated, man?
So honestly, it's just color 7. Main reasoning is just because I had an old gamer tag. It was just coloring. I just wanted to shorten it down to color, and then seven's my favorite number. So I just made it easy, and I thought it looked better in Roman numerals than having an actual number in there. So
Okay, sounds good. So Color 7, simple,
yep.
easy to remember, not too big of a deal. So thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me a little bit tonight, racing a little bit, and having some conversation.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no big deal. Listen. Obviously, the first question for me is always, what's your start into NASCAR? What got you into the sport, and why you're such a big fan of it?
So I mean, it all really started when I was about 5 years old. It's gonna sound bad, but it was actually the 2001 Daytona 500. Um, that's the one that got me hooked, unfortunately. But throughout the years, my whole family has really been racing fans. I mean, my dad, my grandpas, my uncles, everyone around me has really liked it. So I really just took a liking in it. I watched it with them. But the one that really got me hooked, unfortunately, was the 2001 Daytona 500.
Okay, so where were you seated? So you watched it from home, or you went to the race?
I was at home. It was me, my grandpa, my uncle, and at the moment I didn't really know what was going on. So unfortunately, I kind of ruined that moment for them in a sense. I do remember that. I didn't understand because I was really young. Like I said, I think I was 5, so that wasn't good to look back on, but
Yeah, for
kind of is what it
sure.
is at this point.
So was it like a natural progression? I mean, as a kid, obviously it's a little more difficult to get into, a lot of the sciences of racing. So really, it's just about nice looking cars, or finding that one guy you like to pull for, and that's just who you like, or So what was the progression like to just being more of one of those avid NASCAR fans?
So I mean, when I was that young, they kind of made me pick a driver. At the time, for some reason, I liked Tony Stewart and I liked Jeff Gordon. But starting the next year, I actually became a Ryan Newman fan because he was a rookie in 2002. I followed him all the way up until his move to SHR. After that, I kind of didn't have a driver, um, and then I kind of just pulled for a certain amount of people, whether it was Junior. I was never like a huge fan of like Jimmy Johnson or anything like that. I just thought he won too much. Never really liked Kyle Busch too much. But now I'm a huge Chase Elliott fan. I've been watching him since his late model stuff. So I follow him avidly now.
Okay, so that's kind of leads right into my next question. Your favorite driver now is Chase Elliott, as you just said. Is there anything specific about him that you like, or is it just you picked the driver and you went with it?
Well, honestly, the reason I went with him before was because me and him are the same age. So when I was growing up, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to have someone that I can follow throughout their whole career and I can relate to them a lot. I also think he's a fantastic driver and he's honestly just a humble human being all around. So those are my main reasons as to why I like him.
Yeah, okay. So outside of Chase Elliott, NASCAR is one of those weird sports where your guy always can't be in it. So, most NASCAR fans have a few guys that they kind of like to pull for. What are some other drivers that you like in the sport?
So I really stick with the younger guys. I'm a huge Ryan Blaney fan. I do enjoy Bubba Wallace. I wish he would have a little bit better of equipment. I think he gets a bad rap sometimes, unfortunately, as well. But like I like that. I like the Hendrick guys. I like Bowman. Bowman's a good driver. But typically the young guns. Typically the young guns. De Benedetto. I like Ross Chastain as well. So
Okay, very cool. So the flip side of that question is always some guys that you don't like so much.
okay. So a couple of guys I don't like. The Jimmy Johnson thing is set sail. I kind of do pull for him in a sense now, just because his career is winding down, and in all honesty, he's not winning like he used to. So it's a little bit easier to watch him. Um, but guys I don't like, I'd say the 18 car, Kyle Busch, just because he's a hothead. Says some pretty messed up things, and I mean, he's a great driver, but I just don't like his attitude. A couple other people, I'd probably say the 11 car. Unfortunately, sorry to say that. Just because I think in all reality, I'm still not over that 2017 Martinsville race. Um, Other than that, though, I pretty much don't have anyone else I don't like. I wouldn't say.
Well, you're a true NASCAR fan like the rest of us. We all hold grudges. It's just the way it is. It's the just the kind of sport it is. I always kind of chuckle inside a little bit when I ask the question about drivers you don't like because it's the answer of Kyle Busch is always. I mean, it's almost like asking what's two plus two. You're going to get the same answer most all of the
For
time,
the
but
for the most part, yeah.
yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So, have you been to any races live?
Yeah. I go to Watkins Glen every year. It's looking kind of grim for this year, but I've been there every year
Okay.
since 2012. First one I went to was the Marcos Ambrose and the Brad Keselowski finish.
Oh wow, nice,
Yeah,
nice
and actually
intro to
I
live
was
racing.
sitting in the S's. I was sitting up in the S's where Kyle Busch got spun right in front of me.
Well, you that had to have been a joy for you.
That was great. Other than the fact that I was with Kyle Busch fans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's really cool. Very cool. Okay, so you've been to Watkins Glen. How far of a drive was it for you to go to Watkins Glen?
It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on which way you go. Because I'm located right in the middle of New York State essentially, and it's the closest track for me and a couple of my buddies to go to. So that's that's why we go there
Okay,
really.
so give us some of your bucket list tracks. What are some ones you'd really like to go to?
I definitely like to get to Bristol, Talladega, Richmond. Those are like my top ones. I like to see Darlington as well. Um, but I do have a goal that I want to at least get to every track at least once in my lifetime. It's a tall task, but I'd love to do that eventually.
All right, very cool. Well, listen, I know Bristol's a good little drive from the middle part of New York, but I've been there a couple of times. It's definitely worth the trip. You will not be disappointed.
That's what I've heard. A lot of people have told me that it's one of the best tracks to watch live. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Martinsville is great too.
oh, that's another one. Yeah, Martinsville. I'd love to go to Martinsville. Not very fun in this game, but definitely great race in real life.
It's a tremendous race to watch live in real life. I think you'd really enjoy it. So let's switch gears a little bit here. I know that this is about the time we kind of switch gears and start talking a little bit about uh, online racing. So give us a little bit of a peek into your introduction to racing online or NASCAR video games in general.
So the first game that I played NASCAR online was actually NASCAR '08. I think it was the one with Tony Stewart on the cover, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
That was the first one I really started to play online. I played all the ones before that, like the NASCAR Thunders and like the Chase for the Cup and stuff like that. And then I kind of kept with it. I took a couple of year hiatus after EA lost their rights to it essentially, or didn't buy back into it. But starting with the Heat games, I really got back into the NASCAR racing online and stuff like that. So I started with like Heat Evolution again.
Do you know what your favorite version of the NASCAR games were? Like anything that's maybe basically nostalgic, or maybe you say this game is your favorite version of online or video game racing?
So I'd say as of right now, Heat 4 is by far one of my favorites. Nostalgia though, I'd probably go NASCAR Thunder '03, the one with Dale Jr. on the cover. That was really the first NASCAR game I really got into and played. Um, but as of right now, quality wise and just fun wise, I'd say this game for sure.
Okay, very cool. So basically, we kind of call you and a couple others like rookies in the GoFast e-racing series, but obviously you're not necessarily a rookie to online racing, but this is your first year with this series. You kind of came out swinging, got 3 wins so far, looking really good, looking like you're going to challenge for that playoff spot, maybe the championship. So, what are your initial thoughts about the success you've had in the GoFast e-racing series?
I I'm honestly a little bit surprised about the wins and stuff so far because this actually is my first year of like actual league racing. Um, so I just started getting into it. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoy running with all you guys. As you know, we run other leagues and stuff like that together. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy racing around you guys, and I'm just happy to be winning some.
Cool. So, any secrets you want to share with the rest of the series?
My one secret is I was kind of forced to get better, just because there's a guy in our league. as you know, KUB ball, Ryan. I race with him a lot, and to be able to keep up with him, I've had to learn, learn fast as well. It's tough keeping up with him, but I think I'm to the point where I'm on the same, I'm almost on the same level, I'd say. But he's really my main reason for getting better, truthfully.
Yeah, he certainly forces you to think about what you're doing and create strategy and practice and do all the things you got to do to be good, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think not just him, but all you guys, because you guys are none of you guys are slouches. It's a battle every week, so I do appreciate all you guys for that.
Well, I agree about being a battle every week. That has certainly been my experience, especially this year. But yeah, it's been fun racing you, and you've kind of not often do you get a guy who starts in a league and they're just out of nowhere just becomes successful immediately, and that's been the ColorVII experience for the GoFast Racing series.
Yeah, I mean it's been fun. I just I, I don't have an exact reason as to why I've been successful, but it's just been fun racing you guys, and hopefully I can keep the success up.
All right, so you kind of staying on the theme with the GoFast Racing series. Let's talk about some of your better tracks. What are some tracks that you really like in the series, and some tracks that you think, man, when we go here, I've got a real shot.
So I mean, the ones that I really lean towards are more the mile and a halfs, 2 miles, super speedways, a couple of short tracks. But I'd say Chicagoland definitely my best track. Auto Club is up there, Vegas. So it goes right along with the theme of the tracks we're running tonight. Other couple oddballs. Richmond is another good track for me. And honestly, like Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen's a really good one. Obviously, it's my home track, so I'd say those are my go-tos for sure.
Okay, so another question that's got kind of a flip side. What are some tracks that you really don't like, or maybe some tracks that you don't feel so confident in?
I'd say it's more or less the flat tracks, so your New Hampshires, your Martinsvilles. We raced Pocono a couple weeks ago. I raced a lot better than I thought I was going to, but Pocono I definitely would not say is a strong track for me. And honestly, Sonoma in this game, just because it doesn't race well, just because like the carousel and your tires getting off the ground and crap like that. And even Texas, I throw that somewhere in the middle, just because Calamity Corner out of four. So.
All right, so I always ask this question in these interviews. It's kind of one of those no holds barred, no wrong answer. If there was something that you could change about the Go Fasty Racing series, unilaterally, you got all the power. What would you do to make the series better, in your opinion?
All right. Well, I mean, my first step as owner of this series is to kick out KUB ball. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but if I had one controlling power, it would honestly just be to grow the league. I mean, I think we have a really good core 10 right now, but I think we can add to that as long as we get good, clean drivers and people that are committed. I think that we can find people. I'd love if we found a couple more people, even if it wasn't 16, even if we got like 12, 13 people, just another couple of people, it would be great. I think.
Okay, that's an answer that's been coming a couple of times so far in these interviews. So there's definitely a swelling, agreeing opinion about that. So certainly we'll be looking at trying to maybe growing the lead a little bit more in the future as well. So it's a pretty good
Absolutely.
suggestion. Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. That's really all the questions I have. I think it was a nice peek into who you are, who the rookie of the year candidate is, and maybe even a champion. I think you keep improving and keep following that 3 car and learning from him and some of the other guys. You're picking things up fast, man. So I wouldn't be surprised to see you lifting that trophy at the end of the year.
Hey, I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for bringing me in here tonight. I really hope we have a great rest of the season, and I'm gonna call my shot now. I'm gonna be the rookie of the year and the champion. So put my name on it.
There you go. A call out to the rest of the league. Now it's up to us to stop you, right?
Bring it on.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
You're very welcome. Thank you.